Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing something a little bit different and frankly, absolutely fascinating. We're diving into a remarkably brief yet incredibly profound piece of text that asks the ultimate question about our technological trajectory. The source we're unpacking today doesn't bog us down with pages of dense data. Instead, it offers a single razor-sharp title and subtitle: The Sovereignty of Artificial Intelligence, the AI Revolution, Will Machines Control Our Future? We're going to deconstruct the sheer philosophical weight of these 14 words, because the way they're arranged, it really forces us to rethink literally everything we know about technology. Right off the bat, let's just bypass our usual agenda and confront this stark existential question head-on. The text doesn't ask how we'll use machines or when they're going to get faster. It asks, point blank, will machines control our future? It positions artificial intelligence not just as some passive tool waiting for our instructions, but as a potential locus of control. It demands that we look at the trajectory of our tools and ask, well, who is actually going to be holding the steering wheel in the years to come? To understand how we get to that ultimate question of control, we need to break down the exact language used to describe our current era. So, let's get into Section 1, the AI Revolution. The deliberate choice of vocabulary here is super fascinating. Notice the word revolution. It doesn't mean evolution or development. A revolution implies a rapid, fundamental change, right? It implies a total upheaval of the established order. The language insists that we view AI as a massive paradigm shift that overturns previous structures, kind of like how political or industrial revolutions have completely rewritten the rules of society in the past. We're talking about a complete reset. Think about how this conceptual progression tracks our own historical journey. We start at step 1, pure human autonomy. We rely entirely on our own minds and muscles, and let's be honest, usually complain about the hard work. Then we move to step 2, machine integration. We build tools to assist us, but we remain entirely in charge. But right now, we are placed squarely at step 3, the AI revolution. This suggests we've crossed a threshold where the tools aren't just integrated anymore. They're fundamentally disrupting the dynamic of who exactly is doing the driving. We've moved from using the tool to being part of a system redefined by the tool. And that disruption leads us perfectly into our next major concept. Moving right along to Section 2, defining AI sovereignty. Just look at that phrase, the sovereignty of artificial intelligence. It literally forces us to grapple with an incredibly weighty concept. Historically, in all of human literature and law, the word sovereignty is a concept traditionally reserved only for nations, for states, and for monarchs. So applying the word sovereignty to a piece of technology, that is a massive, audacious leap. It fundamentally changes the conversation from basic computer science to deep political philosophy. Because let's look at the actual definition. Sovereignty means supreme power or authority. It means there is no higher power to appeal to within that domain. By taking this concept and applying it to AI, the stakes are raised infinitely. We absolutely aren't talking about a smart calculator anymore. We are talking about the potential for an entity to possess a supreme governing authority. If we apply this definition literally, as the source suggests, we are fundamentally discussing a scenario where machines hold supreme, unmitigated authority over their domain, whatever that domain becomes. Whether it's managing our energy grids, directing global logistics, or processing the world's information, we are faced with a reality where the machine's decision is final. It is sovereign. There's no human manager waiting to override it. The machine's logic becomes the ultimate law of that system. And if an entity achieves sovereignty, well, it inevitably changes the power dynamics for everyone else involved. And that core tension brings us to Section 3, the question of control. This sets up a stark, undeniable contrast based on the central question of the text. On one side, we have our historical expectation, human control. It's this deep-seated belief that no matter how complex the machine gets, humanity always holds the final veto. But on the other side, we have a speculative, imposing alternative, machine control. We have to put these two concepts side by side and truly consider the friction between them. Can they actually coexist? Or does one inherently diminish as the other expands? To really understand this potential transition, we have to examine a few key elements. First up, the shift in authority. How does the transfer of decision-making actually happen? Second, the nature of machine power itself. It's incredibly different from human power. It's calculated, it's tireless, and it's totally devoid of human emotion or hesitation. And third, the impact on human destiny. If we are no longer the ultimate authorities, what does that mean for who actually steers the ship of progress? Exploring this sets up the final overarching theme we need to tackle today, which is Section 4, Our Future with Machines. Think about the brilliant contrast happening in the phrase, our future. The text deliberately pairs the cold, calculating, objective nature of sovereign machines with a deeply human, shared, and emotionally resonant concept. It reminds us that this isn't just an abstract philosophical debate happening in a vacuum. This is a debate about us. The hour insists that humanity is intimately bound up in whatever the outcome of this AR revolution happens to be. Ultimately, our destiny hinges entirely on how these three components interact. First, acknowledging the revolution, accepting that this is a rapid, systemic change, not just a slow evolution. Second, confronting sovereignty, really taking seriously the idea that machines could hold supreme authority in their spheres. And third, answering that control question, figuring out exactly how human agency survives or adapts when sharing the world with sovereign systems. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, provocative thought derived straight from the implications of our source text. If machines achieve sovereignty, what remains of human autonomy? The ideas we've explored today bring us right to the edge of this cliff, inviting you to ponder what role humanity will actually play in tomorrow's world. If supreme authority belongs to the machine, what belongs to us? It's a massive, fascinating question to chew on. Thanks for diving into this with us. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and think deeply about the words we use to describe our technological future.